The rain was coming down in sheets, turning the world into a grey, blurry mess. On the side of a lonely road, a tiny ball of fur shivered uncontrollably. This was Pip, a puppy so small he could fit in the palm of your hand, abandoned and terrified in the middle of a storm. Each clap of thunder made him flinch, his little body trembling not just from the cold, but from sheer fear. The passing headlights were like monstrous eyes in the dark, and every whoosh of a car was a new threat. He was all alone, soaked to the bone, with no hope in sight. Just as his tiny spirit was about to give up, a pair of headlights slowed down, and a car pulled over. A door opened and a figure emerged, shielded by a large, colourful umbrella. It was a woman, her face etched with concern. She moved slowly, cautiously, so as not to scare the already terrified creature. This was Lily. She knelt down, her voice soft and gentle, a stark contrast to the harsh drumming of the rain. "Hey there, little guy," she whispered. "You look like you could use some help." Pip, initially wary, looked up with wide, frightened eyes. He saw no threat in her expression, only kindness. Lily extended a hand, letting him sniff her fingers. Then, she carefully scooped him up and wrapped him in a soft, dry blanket she'd brought from her car. The warmth was instantaneous, a comforting embrace he hadn't felt in what seemed like a lifetime. Back at Lily's house, the world transformed. The roaring storm was replaced by the quiet hum of a warm home. Lily set Pip down on a plush rug in front of a crackling fireplace. He was still nervous, his little body tense. He explored his new surroundings with hesitant steps, sniffing every corner of the living room. Lily didn't rush him. She simply sat on the floor, watching him with a patient smile. She prepared a small bowl of warm puppy food and a saucer of fresh water. The smell was irresistible. Tentatively, Pip took a few bites, then a few more, until the bowl was empty, his hunger satisfied. A wave of exhaustion washed over him. Lily had already prepared a soft bed for him, a cardboard box lined with old, fleecy sweaters. He curled up inside, and for the first time that day, his shivering stopped. He wasn't just warm, he was safe. The next few days were a period of gentle adjustment. Pip slowly started to come out of his shell. He would follow Lily from room to room, his tiny tail giving a hopeful little wag whenever she looked at him. He discovered the joy of toys, a squeaky rubber ball, and a knotted rope that were almost as big as he was. He learned that Lily's hands were for gentle pets and belly rubs, not for harm. He would curl up at her feet while she worked on her laptop and nap on her lap while she watched TV. The bond between them was growing stronger each day. The scared, shivering puppy from the roadside was blossoming into a playful, loving companion. Lily would often just watch him, a smile playing on her lips, her heart swelling with affection for this little soul she had saved. One morning, however, something was wrong. Pip, usually a bundle of morning energy, was listless. He didn't touch his food and let out a weak whimper when Lily tried to coax him to play. His nose was dry and hot, and his breathing was shallow and ragged. A knot of panic tightened in Lily's stomach. She wrapped him carefully in his favorite blanket and rushed him to the veterinary clinic. The waiting room felt like an eternity, every tick of the clock amplifying her anxiety. Finally, the vet came out with a serious expression. Pip had pneumonia. The exposure to the cold and rain on the night she found him had taken a severe toll on his fragile body. His chances, the vet explained, were uncertain. Lily's world felt like it was crumbling. She refused to give up on him. She brought him home and transformed her living room into a makeshift puppy hospital. Following the vet's instructions to the letter, she administered his medicine with a gentle hand, coaxing him to take it with bits of his favorite treats. She used a humidifier to ease his breathing and held him for hours, her warmth and steady heartbeat a constant source of comfort. She whispered words of encouragement into his soft fur, telling him how strong he was, how much she loved him, and how she couldn't wait to see him chasing his ball in the park. She barely slept, her nights spent watching over him, checking his breathing and making sure he was comfortable. It was a grueling vigil, a battle fought with love, patience, and unwavering hope. Slowly, miraculously, the tide began to turn. One afternoon, Pip lifted his head and licked Lily's hand. It was a small gesture, but it was everything. A few days later, he took a few tentative bites of food on his own. His breathing became less labored, and a faint spark returned to his eyes. Lily's heart soared with relief. The round-the-clock care, the sleepless nights, the constant worry. It was all worth it. Her little fighter was coming back to her. The vet was amazed at his recovery, attributing it as much to Lily's dedicated nursing as to the medicine. The bond that had formed between them in those dark, uncertain days was now unbreakable, forged in the fires of adversity. The day Pip was finally well enough to go outside again was a celebration. The sun was shining brightly, and the world seemed full of vibrant color. Lily took him to a large, grassy park. At first, he stayed close to her side, but then, seeing other dogs playing, his puppy instincts took over. He took off, his little legs a blur as he raced across the green expanse, his ears flapping in the wind. He chased butterflies, rolled in the grass, and greeted other dogs with a happy, confident bark. The sight of him, so full of life and joy, brought tears to Lily's eyes. This was the future she had promised him during those long nights of his illness. This was the happy, carefree life every puppy deserved. That evening, tired but happy, they snuggled together on the couch. Pip rested his head on Lily's lap, letting out a soft sigh of pure contentment. The storm seemed a distant memory, a bad dream from another lifetime. He was no longer the abandoned, shivering puppy on the side of the road. He was Pip, a beloved member of a family. He had a home, a warm bed, and a human who loved him more than anything in the world. As Lily gently stroked his fur, she knew she hadn't just saved a puppy. Pip had saved her too, filling her life with a love so pure and unconditional. They had found each other in the storm, and together, they had found their forever home. Thank you so much for watching Pip's journey. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to see more incredible stories of rescue and love. Every like and subscribe helps us share these important messages. We'll see you in the next video.